And it results to grieving and anger. And as it results to this anger and all that, what will happen here is that it becomes violent. Because if I have a family and you kill or you destroy my family, or whether it's the government that does it or whatever, and I live with that anger for a long time, at the point I have to pay back, there will be some remorse, some vendetta going on there. Because no matter what you think, and I discover somehow that these things have been happening somehow, and that one was okay. Why was mine wrong? Or why did you do this to me? Some people, even after taking the punishment, leave to realize certain things. And then are you going to leave and tell me that you are sorry for doing what you did? I can't take that bullshit anymore. You've already done it. You didn't think it through. You followed laws and you did what you have to do. I'm leaving with anger because at the end of the day, you condemn me of something that I felt right of doing, and the other opponent did not feel offensive of it or anything. And then you took it upon yourself, an outsider, to make an issue of it. And then as a result of that, you took me out and see that I should be condemned because of my actions. And you were wrong. But if I engage in that person, I'm using sex as an example because majorly that is what goes on. Or I took that person's life, killed that person, without that person willingly didn't want that. I've done something that other person didn't like, and that is wrong. It's a simple definition I give for sin. I mean, if it being sex and you sleep with that person and he didn't like that, you have raped that person, you have done it wrong. It is sin, it's wrong, it's a sin. It is simple, something that it is wrong. As long as that person proves it, even if he doesn't prove it in that instance, he shows you any sign that he doesn't want that, it is wrong. You've offended the person, and that is a sin. It's a wrong thing. You don't need God, Spirit of God, to come and tell you. You should know. This is something that naturally you should know. And that is what I'm trying to put out there. You lie to somebody, and somehow the person get offended. It's wrong. You may lie to somebody, and that person will not get offended. It's fine. We have people today lying in order to attain so many things in life. I mean, lies is now a fraction of a day, I'll say. And it's okay. But some of them can be so serious that it will bring some sort of demonstration, and it can bring some rout so much that it can cause havoc that you won't believe it. Because somehow people got offended. Whether being leaders lying or being people lying or whatever it is, people got offended. And when that happens, you must bear the consequences, that you realize that it is because it's offending, that is why it's an issue. But we don't need laws to tell you the things that are offensive and the things that are not offensive. Then you can immediately correct that issue at that time and resolve it and have your peace. But if you know it even beforehand, you will not just do it. Sometimes by accident you can do something offensive and if you know, you correct it instantly. You don't have to wait forever. And sometimes that person also confronts you and say, oh, what you did, I'm now thinking about it, but it's not right. I didn't like what you did, But some people too can endure it, can just take it and realize that no, it doesn't matter. Just leave it. I don't want to drag it. I don't want to make issue out of it. It's just a trivial thing. Others will not think it of it that way. But sin is whatever you do wrong to the other person or the other thing that person did not like or was not acceptable, not by the public or any third party, but between the two, where the actions went and where the actions came from. Just between the two, what it is that was done. That is the wrong thing. That is the sin. This is my definition, and that makes life simple. Try that, and you see what I'm trying to put through does make sense. And if you don't get hooked up with any lie, a man or a person, grown-up person, must have a sense of self-control. Now, what I have said here, if you put it in the state of children, the children need somebody to bring them up. You cannot put them there. And when a child grows to some stage and he realizes ability to think by himself, he knows, you will know. And quickly you have to start amending and associating yourself in here to let the person know what is truthfully right and the best way. So if you have that kind of thinking, you also begin to teach your child to know. You can even start from the onset, let the child know, so the child gradually grows to become very smart and, have a very peaceful life approach. But what I've just said is not something that you sort of become irresponsible to the child as a result and think that child should be able to know that offending somebody is wrong. The child hasn't got the thinking, development has not reached any level to know the difference between even the water and fire. The child can put his hand in the fire and burn, and until the thing burns him, he won't even know that fire is dangerous. And even he can put his hand back there, even though the fire burnt him the other time, unless the child has got to a stage to recognize. But if he's a baby and younger, he can put his hand. If you don't take that child from there, he'll probably be lying in the fire and burn and be crying and doesn't even know what to do to know that if he walk out, it will be okay. A child is a child. The state of our mind has not developed to that state. It hasn't developed to the state to use this application. It is not in that respect. But I'm talking about as somebody whose full conscience has grown matured to know how to decide and how to live life, how to walk, where to go, where not to go, And I'm suggesting that if you are a responsible person, a grown person, there's a way that you have the guide of life to have in your life to have a very peaceful and a sound and calm life. And these are some of the suggestions I'm giving. It's not something for a child whose mind is young and has not developed to that stage. So let's take those things into account, and I'm sure you will understand what I'm trying to say here. I'm actually going to conclude this because, as I say, you speak as much as you want to, but sometimes the mind gets a point where it has to rest, or sometimes gets tired, or I don't know what happens, and you feel that the wisdom needs to be revitalized. You need something to revitalize, to think things through and adjust things well so that you not get it wrong. So the area of Abraham, I've suggested a few things. I'll get back to it and show you what exactly I am talking of Abraham, and we could make some sense out of what Abraham, the experience of Abraham, the life of Abraham, and some of the suggestions that I will have, why things happen, why some things happen, the reasons why they happened. I will suggest some points to point out to sort of lead to the same issues of how today our life has become what it is. People who hold on to all this, and there's a lot of people in that sense, people who have that background. The Quran is also something I will suggest a lot from it, and all to establish our idea of God, who God is, what God is, how God somehow relates in our life, the good things that we get, the bad things that we get in, and how I think that this is standing in a way that makes us so much not having the peace that we need to have, and continually the violence that comes is as a result of all these things. And suggestive things in there I've not yet pointed out yet in most of my videos, of the God-given instruction to kill, to destroy and all that, but that will all come up. You will see clearly some of the instructions coming from the gods that all these groups have, that makes them have the assurance to protect themselves and defend themselves, and the right to defend whatever it is they are defending. But that I say, you can't defend God. It's God who's supposed to defend you. But we will go into that, and I'll point it all out for you as a listener to really hear, make sense out of it. And I'm expecting your response in every way of how you think of it, and your suggestions or your good suggestions of how you feel that these things are maybe not to me, but you can also do a video and put it out there, because it continues in that sense. All right, thank you very much for listening. Thank you.